This is Tell Me What to Read, powered by Booktopia. I'm Kassidy Fisher, and today I'm sitting down for a book chat with a very special guest. Earlier this year, the film adaptation of Delia Owens' bestseller, Where the Crawdads Sing, was released worldwide, becoming a huge box office success. Today, I'm delighted to sit down with actor Taylor John Smith, who played Tate Walker in the film, to discuss the novel, adapting it to the screen, and more. Taylor, welcome to Tell Me What to Read.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And full disclosure, we'll be discussing the movie and the book, spoilers and all. You have officially been warned.
Spoiler alert.
First of all, congratulations on the success of the film. Fans obviously know you for your work in series Sharp Objects and films like The Outpost. What drew you to the world of Where the Crawdads Sing?
You know, it's funny. I didn't really know too much about the book before I went through the audition process. I remember I was actually in Australia filming a movie in Melbourne, and I got an email basically saying, hey, there's this great project. They'd love for you to read for it. And I originally read for Chase, and that was the only character I knew of in the book. And then immediately, Livy Newman, the director, was like, I think you should, I think you should read and do a chemistry with Daisy Edgar Jones for Tate. And it was a much bigger role in that sense. And I didn't really read the book when I did the Chase audition. So I scrambled, knowing it was a chemistry, knowing it was like a big deal, to find the book. But the nearest bookstore was sadly closed at the moment due to the pandemic. And so I bought the Audible version of it. For some reason, I thought it was a good idea to listen to it at 1.5 times speed.
Oh, no.
So I crammed through it, which is a mistake, trust me, especially when they do all the accents and stuff. Great readers that do it, but it just sounded like mosquitoes buzzing around. I was trying to cram it in, and then finally read for it and had an amazing chemistry with Daisy. And on the flight home back to the States is when I really finished the book. And when I told my sisters that I had gotten the role in this great new movie Where the Crawdads Sing, they were like, "Shut up! Who are you playing, Chase or Tate?" And it was the only time they've ever really perked up and cared about a project that I was working on. And so that was the initial reaction that I needed. I was like, if my sisters care this much about it, so many other people must. And I don't know. I love the relationship, the love story between Kaya and Tate. And it's I don't know. It's kind of one of those beautiful love stories you remember watching early on. And I don't know. It seemed like a perfect fit.
Well, lucky you did get that role because you were fantastic in it. Do you think it would have been different if you played Chase? If you had got that role, do you think the movie would have been a bit different?
My sisters would have been pissed. I feel like it wouldn't have been as fun doing the press tour because, he's like the bad guy in it. I don't know. I think everything works out exactly how it's supposed to. I don't know. I probably would have had a different experience. I don't know about the movie.
Love that though. Were you aware of how big Crawdads was in the literary world? Was there a bit of a pressure when you were bringing it to life?
I had no idea how many people loved this book, and then it was 11 million copies or something it sold, and it was just kind of mind-boggling to me. And I think one of the reasons why so many people fell in love with it is a lot of people read it over the pandemic, and there's a lot of themes of survival and isolation. I think that resonated with a lot of people. But it's just one of those, it feels like a classic. It feels like you're reading a classic, and Delia does such a beautiful job of painting the world. You almost need to go experience it in a movie. She writes very cinematically, and yeah, it's such a beautiful book. So I can't imagine listening to it on an audio book because of all the descriptions. It's so vivid and going it
through
was a mistake.
So quickly.
It's not my proudest moment.
I'm glad you end up reading it, experiencing it properly. You spent a good time working in Louisiana, working on location, filming the movie. Was there a lot of challenges during filming? I imagine there was a lot of nature.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the characters in the book is the marsh, is nature itself. And first of all, I know Daisy feels the same, and I know Livy does as well. But we're so grateful that we got to film on location as opposed to in a sound stage somewhere trying to, hang fake moss from the ceiling and pump in sounds of cicadas chirping. We got to live in it and breathe in it. there's a kind of a thick film. Like the air feels very tense and thick in New Orleans. When you're out there, you feel the humidity, and it's very, I don't know, oppressing and like overwhelming, and you can kind of see it through the movie. And just being able to like interact with like the animals and the insects, and not being able to escape any of it really helped our performances, I think. And yeah, there's a couple like weird, scary moments. There was a time where I was filming a scene in the marsh, and I'm up to like my chest in marsh water, and mooring waders, and then the scene takes collecting samples for his biology lab. And right before we started rolling, there's a radio that's been hidden in a nearby tree, and it chirps off, and so one of the wildlife safety coordinators is like, "Hey Taylor, just a heads up, about 10 feet behind you, it's swimming up now, but it looks like it's a gator, so if you just keep an eye on that, if it gets next to you, if it's 5 or 6 feet, I wouldn't worry about it, but anything bigger, I'd hop out of the water." And I'm thinking like, I'll like, what?
Eye on it, it's fine.
Yeah, and then I just hear rolling, and I'm supposed to like, act like I'm not scared to death in this moment, and I just see this giant, like, it looks like a log, like a floating tree going next to me, except it's blinking, and I'm like, I guess if I die, I die. Like,
yeah, at least I was doing something I loved.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff like that. There's like snakes that come up on set, but that's what makes it so beautiful, and that's what made it so incredible to film there, is that we had all these different elements that you can't prepare for, and so you have to be focused and present and in it. So grateful that we got to film
prepare you as well if you ever went to outback Australia, where there's lots of incredibly dangerous things. Now you're fully prepared, they're not going to scare you as much.
No, I think what I read a quote, it was like, every 9 inches or something, or with every foot in Australia, there's like potentially 9 spiders or something with how many there are in the country.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not one of our best features, but it's always an experience.
Makes it interesting.
Exactly. I definitely wanted to add that Daisy Edgar-Jones, she's incredible as Kaya, obviously the main character of the film. She's when I watched it, I just was in love with her. She was amazing. What was it like for you working with her?
Well, like the first time I got to meet her was over something like this, over Zoom, and I always wondered how people figured out if you had chemistry over a screen. But the minute she popped on, she just had this beaming smile, and I think she cracked a joke about like us being trapped in boxes, and we just hit it off instantly. And at the end of it, I was like, I want to be her friend. I hope to God I get this, because I just want to like spend some time with her. And then when I got to set the very first day, she like saw me from afar. She's like, "Taylor!" and ran over and jumped on me, gave me a big hug, and we were just off to the races after that. We just became like thick as thieves. And she's just crazy smart, super funny, like probably one of the funniest people I've ever met. And you look forward to seeing her face every day, let alone her brilliant talent. She's just an incredible human being that makes showing up for work easy. And so getting to have her as a partner in crime it's incredible.
That's really lovely. Super jealous. Sounded amazing. Well, I couldn't really talk to you about Crawdads without mentioning that ending. I remember when I was reading the book and my partner was watching me so intently as I was getting to the last pages of the book. It was like he was watching me, and I was like, what's going on? Waiting for my explosive. Oh my God. What do you think about that moment when we find out that Kaya did in fact kill Chase, and how that was captured?
Yeah, what's crazy? The entire time reading it, I thought Tate did it. I thought Tate was like such a jerk for letting this girl go through this trial. Like me reading in the back of my mind, knowing that he did it like to protect her, but wasn't man enough to like, go to trial for himself. And then I was kind of relieved when I found out she did it, because it was a perfect, bookend to it.
Smart she was to get away with it.
Yeah, it was a shocker, but I'm glad it was her, because it just makes her character that much more strong. But I thought it was me. I was like, please don't be me, please don't me. I wanted Tate to be the good guy.
I thought that too. I was getting to almost the book. I was like, I swear maybe Tate's going to reveal that he did it at the end to protect her or something, and then you find out she did. I was like,
But that's what makes it so cool. It's kind of like a murder mystery whodunit. It could have been an accident, it could have been her, it could have been Tate, could have been, jumping. It could have been pretty much anybody in town. And so you really wonder on paper or on film, they make it seem like it was impossible for her to do so, but that's what makes it so like surprising at the end when you find out.
So well done. Loved it. I was waiting the whole time in the film when I was watching it. How are they going to do this ending? How are they going to do this ending? And then it came and I was like, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
If you could change anything about Tate's journey in the film, would you? And what would it be?
If I could change anything about his journey, it would have been nice to explore more of his relationship with his dad, maybe Scupper. Because I think there was a couple more scenes that didn't end up making the movie, but I like the relationship between Scupper and Tate, because they're, Tate's mom and his little sister died in that car wreck early on. It'd be nice to like explore that a little bit more. But other than that, the characters are so well fleshed out that it doesn't really leave much room for guesswork, which is nice. As an actor, you get to go back to the book every day on set, and if you have any questions, the answers are kind of in there already. But yeah, no, the characters are so wonderfully written by Delia and adapted by Lucy that doesn't leave a lot of room for like questions.
That's definitely fair. Well, it's a great segue. So I was going to ask, like, Tate's such an interesting character in both the book and the film, because he's the love interest, but he's not perfect either. He does make mistakes, and he kind of lets her down and goes through that redemption and the guilt. What stood out to you about that journey and playing that?
I like that he wasn't this one-dimensional guy. It was just like the good guy, the sweet kid, her childhood best friend, who they end up falling for each other. No one's cookie cutter, no one's perfect, and I think he was thinking with his head instead of his heart when he wanted to go out and explore what life would look like out in the big city, so to speak. And I think there was some anger too with him and Kaya, of her not understanding like there's more than this. Like there's got to be more than just me and you in the swamp. And as soon as he got out there, he realized that he was dead wrong. Like he should have listened to his heart. And when he comes back after being gone for so long, I think he spends the rest of his life with Kaya trying to make it up to her.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful story in the end. I was going to ask, if the film's had such a strong reaction from fans of the book, have you had any funny like fan interactions since the movie's come out? Has anyone stopped you in the street? Or
what's been the coolest part for me? On Instagram, like I'll get a bunch of DMs from random people, and the coolest part has been going through all the international ones where people are speaking like Portuguese or the Turkish or something, and they're sending these messages and I have no idea what they say, and so I have to Google Translate, like copy paste Google Translate. I'm hoping it's something good, and it's always something so sweet and so positive. And so many people love the book, and you're always weary about doing an adaptation because it means so much to them and they have an idea about what it should be in their head already. And when you find out that they're like, hey, thank you for not screwing up one of my favorite books, and like, thank you for making sure it was such a loyal adaptation, and thank you for bringing my favorite character to life. And it feels really, really good, because you don't always get that, especially with book adaptations.
Yeah, of course, that makes complete sense. I was going to ask about working with Reese Witherspoon in the producer chair, which is pretty amazing. She's unbelievable with the books that she's brought to the forefront. With her book club. I was wondering what it was like working with her, and if she ever mentioned her book club.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is I think her first pick for Hello Sunshine. This is like her first pick, and so I don't know if she has her own personal one, if this is just a Hello Sunshine, but she reads the books and she gets obsessed with them, and she has kind of a tastemaker attitude where if she likes something and she knows she can really dive into the characters and the story that most likely other people are too, or already have. So when she was on set, she had such a steadfast, brilliant idea, like horse blinders on, about where we're going to go with the story, what needed to come out of it. And it was one of those like fearless leader attitudes that you really hope for in a producer that knows what they want and knows what the book has to offer, and they're unwavering in compromising on the quality. Reese is just one of those people. And it was great to see her like constantly working on set. It's kind of inspiring. Like she wanted to make sure everything was perfect. She's going around to all the departments and like introducing herself on the first day and making sure that we're all making the same movie. She's just a badass. She's like a mogul.
I think that's a testament to all of you as well. Like when you see the end result of the film and how beautiful it is and how great of an adaptation it is, I think clearly a testament to everyone's hard work. Imagine on the set. Yeah, well, we'll finish with some book habit and movie related questions. No pressure, just a bit of fun. What is the perfect idea of a night with a book for you?
Ooh, okay. I'm talking minimum 2, but maximum like 4 different candles around. I'm really into, I know we're not into fall yet, but like some sort of, Christmas tree evergreen, something like that, something like alpine-y. Lights are dimmed, maybe even a fireplace going on in the corner, and like a good thriller, like a Robert Ludlum thriller.
Is that your favorite genre? Like you really enjoy crime and
I love like thrillers, or like the Bourne Supremacy, like the whole Bourne series. I'm a big fan of.
Strong page turner, something to keep you
They're
invested.
like thick though. They're like, it's like a phone book.
They definitely are. A lot longer than Crawdads.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite book?
The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. It's like a children's book, but I think it's the most beautiful book in the world. It's based, I don't know if you've read it before. Have you read it?
I haven't read that one, no, but I'll have to add it to my TBR.
Yeah, please. It's basically a boy who grows up with a tree, and at the beginning he uses the tree to climb on, and then as he gets older, he builds a fort out of it, and the tree's always happy to help out this boy. And then the boy is like, I'm gonna, move off into a big city, but I have no money. And the tree's like, well, you can sell my apples. So the boy sells his apples, and the tree was happy. And then the boy comes back another 5-10 years later, and he's like, I met this beautiful woman. I want to make her my wife, but I don't have a house. And the tree's like, you can cut down my, trunk and twigs or whatever, and branches, and make her a house. And so the boy does it, and the tree is happy. And at the end, the boy's old, and the tree is just a stump. And the tree's like, I have nothing left to give you. And the boy says, it's okay. I'm old now. I just need a place to sit. And so he sits on the stump at the end, and it says, and the tree was happy. It's basically just about like giving whatever you have all away, like whether it's your love, your time, your energy. It's really one of the most like beautiful books. Yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna have to read that one now.
It's like 9 pages, so it's a quick breeze.
It's like a really short
pictures.
Story.
Yeah. Big pictures.
It sounds really beautiful. I will definitely, we have to look that one up. Did you take any mementos from the set? Please tell me you took the shell necklace.
Oh God, no! I feel like Daisy would have stolen that. I found some a baby turtle shell. There was nothing inside of it, and this wasn't on set. I was on a nature walk. I brought that back. A couple feathers from the tree stump scene, and then I got, as a wrap gift, I got the red beanie. Tate's like red beanie.
The red herring a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. That's fair. I would definitely take that too.
Some of Kaya's drawings were beautiful, and I would have loved to snag a couple of those.
That would be a really nice art for the house.
Yeah.
So when did you get that? Oh, just in this movie that I was in.
Yeah, just.
Well, you're stuck on a deserted island or in the marsh,
Okay.
and while you await rescue, you have to take 3 books of your choosing. What books do you take?
Ooh. Probably take I have like a daily devotional called Jesus Calling I'd bring with me. I would probably take Survival for Dummies. And then,
Very smart.
There was this book I loved as a kid called The White Fox Chronicles. And it's about this kid who grows up in like this, futuristic society, and they're like imprisoning children for some reason, and he basically creates a group of these like child bandits and goes and like rescues these kids. It's I don't know, it's kind of dark, but I remember reading as a kid and feeling like I wanted to go on some big grand adventure like this kid and go like fight the bad guys. I probably reconnect with that book.
a bit of good escapism, I suppose, while
Yeah.
you're waiting rescue.
Exactly.
All right, well, we'll just jump to our last question. You've now portrayed a character in one of the most successful books in recent history. If you could portray any other fictional character, who would you choose?
Oof. There's this book called Fearless, and it's about a Navy SEAL named Adam Brown who overcame, so much. He used to be a drug addict and running from the police when he was younger, and basically joined the Navy to like change his life. He lost his right eye in combat, and then went back and learned how to retrain with just one eye, and went on and ended up giving his life for his teammates. But he was a phenomenal Navy SEAL, and his life story is just absolutely incredible. His name's Adam Brown, if you guys want to check him out.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'd love to tell a story about him one day.
Well, now that's out in the universe, so who knows what'll end up happening. Hopefully I'll get to see you play that character one day. Sounds very interesting, and like there'd be a lot of facet to really play off there. So that'd be amazing. Thank you for answering that. Where the Crawdads Sing is now out on Blu-ray, DVD, and you can check it out now. If you enjoyed the show, drop us a review on Apple Podcasts or a like on Spotify and let us know what you think. We'll see you on our next episode, but until then, thanks for listening and never stop reading.